we will continue with our diversity in living organisms. In the last class we talked about the system of different classification. This system of classification has undergone various changes over the years. Like if you, as we see on page number 57, you saw Carl Linnaeus in the year 1737. 35 we talked about the first classification. Then later on, little more accepted is the classification of Whittaker, who said there are how many kingdoms? 5 kingdoms. See, look at the 5 kingdoms in the table there. Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. So this was little more acceptable. Whittaker in the year 1969. So here he talked about how many kingdoms? 5 kingdoms. Just look at the first kingdom: Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. So these are the 5 kingdoms proposed by Whittaker in the year 1969. So we are doing the different systems of classification. So as you move, there are so many changes. When you go to the last one, Cavalier and Smith, he made it into how many kingdoms? 6 kingdoms. So this according to Whittaker, how many kingdoms? 5 kingdoms. According to Cavalier and Smith, there are 6 kingdoms. So these changes are there in the system of classification over the years. So we will just for some time we will follow this Whittaker's system. How many are there? There are 5 kingdoms. So once again name those: Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. So when he was talking about the organisms and its division or classification, he talked about eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic is nothing but which has the organisms which have, or the unicellular organisms which have true nucleus. When you talk about a cell, there is nucleus in the center. So true nucleus, they are eukaryotic. But when you come to bacteria, there is no nucleus as such. That nucleus is not developed. So that is primitive nucleus. In prokaryotic organism, there is primitive nucleus or not very developed nucleus. In the nucleus, you know, there is our genetic material. Your DNA. DNA, deoxy. DNA stands for deoxyribo, N, nucleic acid. So this is of the genetic material present. So this genetic material is in our nucleus. So if the organism has true nucleus, it is belonging to which group? Eukaryotic organisms. While if they are having primitive nucleus, they belong to prokaryotic organisms. Organisms like bacteria, they are all prokaryotic. Again we have other some groups like autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs means we can give example of plants which can prepare their own food utilizing sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. When we go to heterotrophs, they are unable to prepare their own food. They depend on plants for the source of food. So example you can give animals. Then there is a group called fungi. extreme climate or extreme conditions. When I say extreme condition, example, high salt content, because organism needs optimum conditions to grow. Optimum condition, optimum temperature, optimum air concentration, optimum nutrients. If these all conditions are there, the organism develops. Just take an example from your kitchen. So when your mother is preparing the curd, she takes or she boils the milk. The next step, the milk, if you add, you have to add 1 spoon of curd to that milk. Then only it will turn into curd the next day. Suppose if your mother is adding the whole spoon into that boiling milk, will you get a good quality curd? No. Your curd will not be very tasty curd. So what she has to do, or what your mother follows, is she cools it. Cools but not very cool. It should be warm. You know warm, no? When you take bath, you are not taking bath in a boiling water, isn't it? You take bath in warm water. So same way, that milk should be warm, and then add this curd. Curd contains which bacteria? Lactic acid bacteria. So this lactic acid bacteria, when it is added into the milk, it converts everything into lactic acid. Our milk is turning. And next day you get tasty curd. So see, if your condition temperature is high, what will happen to that lactic acid bacteria? They will die. So it needs optimum temperature to grow. To grow means to multiply. 1 bacteria multiplies into 2. 2 into 4. So like that there is division. So very important, optimum conditions are needed for the growth of any organism. Like take the example of seed. When you sow a seed, next step what? You have to sprinkle some water. There should be sunlight, proper sunlight. So these are the some conditions. Then you add maybe fertilizers, maybe you add some manure, so that they grow to the best. Like you students are given manure. What manure you are given? We give you knowledge, isn't it? So you are given knowledge, your parents give you the maximum amount of values, so that when you grow up, how do you become? So that you become a good citizen. So like that, how a farmer takes care of his farm. Next, when we go, we are moving forward to the hierarchy of classification. When I say hierarchy of classification now, like from higher to lower, or from lower to higher. Like at home, if you have grandparents, so your hierarchy begins from grandfather, then grandmother, then father, then mother. If you have an elder brother, then you. So that is the hierarchy. Hierarchy is followed the order. So when you see the hierarchy of classification, you begin from life, big one. Then we have domain. What is it? Domain. Say domain. Then kingdom. Then phylum. Then class. Then we have order. Then comes family. Then comes genus. Then comes species. So in this way, this is the hierarchy of classification. When you do the classification of plant, the last thing what will be there is a species. Like we took example one name, mango. Mangifera indica. This indica is like it's common for all. Mangifera. So there are, now we are going to slowly go to that nomenclature also. Nomenclature means naming of different plants. I told there are 2 names for a plant. Mango, Mangifera indica. Mango is a common name. Scientific name, Mangifera indica. Man, common name. If we go to the scientific name of man, he is called as Homo sapiens. So did you follow that nomenclature we we will do in the next part. So how many kingdoms we are going to talk about? 5 kingdoms. Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. So this is according to whom? According to Whittaker, Monera. So if you see the page number 59, you can see Monera. Monera, you can see example there, bacteria. Normally they are one-celled organism. One-celled means we have to observe under microscope. So this one cell, and they do not have which type of nucleus? True nucleus. So these are the characters which are mentioned in Monera. Then you have to remember the example there. Example of some bacteria given there. Cyanobacteria, eubacteria, blue-green bacteria, blue-green algae. These are the example of Monera. Then second one we have Protista. So when you go to Protista, example you can remember is amoeba, euglena, paramecium, slipper-shaped paramecium. Amoeba you already studied. It has no particular shape. That finger-like projections we call as pseudopodia. Then we have the third group, that is fungi. So when you write the title fungi, you have to remember the characteristics of fungi. So you can read that fungi. Example you should remember yeast, mushroom, molds, lichen. So that all characters we will do in detail in the coming classes. Next we have Plantae. Plantae means plants. Plants are included like your neem plant, grass plant. Last we have Animalia. Animalia means a group of animals. In that animals we have insects, birds. So all that detailed we will study in the coming chapters. Till that everyone see that you draw the hierarchy of classification and the qualities and characteristics of Monera from your textbook. Thank you.